Thank you again. And now we have our 4 speakers for this panel discussion. And I would like to remind our audience that if you have any question for the panel, for any of the speakers, or a mix between speakers, please feel free to put it in the chat box and we will ask it on your behalf. For our panelists, of course, I would like also to remind you that, or to ask you, if you have any question or comment on to your colleague, please feel free to discuss it at this point. Back to your Kiruba, you mentioned the non-GMO high oleic acid, and just as a question for clarification, could you remind us what is the difference between the non-GMO high oleic acid and the 94% of soybean that is GMO produced in the US?
So this is a new variety that is being naturally bred using conventional techniques, and the patent lies between University of Missouri and USDA. 2 scientists, they've joined together to develop this new variety of high oleic soybean, and it's in research stage. So we get to try these materials to see if we could use them for processing. So if you need more information, it is Dr. Kristen Guru who has developed the variety. So she might have more insights in addressing that question.
Thank you so much. And I know Dr. Kristen very well. For all, a question for all the panel members or the speakers, should universal fortification include soy flour? This is a question from the audience.
The question again?
Should universal fortification programs include soy flour?
Do you want me to go ahead to?
Yes, please.
Yeah, thank you for that excellent question. I would say yes, it can be a vehicle for the fortificants. So it depends on the diet and the usage of the soy flour in respective countries. So that one will determine. For example, iodine is being put in salt because we think that's the best vehicle. So the fortificant, we can determine soy flour to be a vehicle. So it can be used as a vehicle. That's my opinion. Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else would like to comment on this question?
Yeah, thank you for the question. I think it should depend on how you're going to use it for. For example, if you're going to use it for bread, you're doing composite bread, and you add the fortificants before you bake, you denature and destroy most of them. It depends on how you're going to use it for. So I think principally it should be driven by the application of the soy flour and not a general one like we have for the others, like the salt. Yeah.
I would like to add what, following Dr. Francis' comment, yes, it needs to be application oriented. What is the end product and how we could design it to that need? So that's how we need to approach that problem.
Thank you. Another question from the audience related to high oleic acid soybeans. Are these available in Africa or grown in Africa? And the second question, how does oleic acid soybean differ from high oleic palm oil?
Okay, so the first thing is I do not know about if it's available in Africa to grow. My apologies for that, because I'm more the processing side of it. So I get my raw materials. So the second question is how it is different from high oleic. The combination, the chemical constituent is going to be the same. It's going to be different raw material, like it could be palm oil, it could be sunflower oil, it could be canola oil, which has high oleic content. Here in this case, we're talking about high oleic soybean oil. So significantly, the chemical composition is going to be the same, but the raw material, the source might be different.
Thank you. One last question. How do you see the role of NARO, or National Agriculture Research Programs, in promoting this new product, soybean, that are rich in protein, bioavailable protein, and or fortificants or oil fortificant like high oleic acid soy protein? Anyone would like?
Can you repeat the question? I didn't.
How do you see the role of NAROs, or National Agriculture Organization in Africa, in promoting this highly nutrient soy-based protein product or high oleic acid soy protein?
NARO, as a research and development organization, works with actors right from the processors to the farming communities. And then therefore the role of NARO in promotion of such product would be being central and bringing together all actors that are involved in both from production to supply chains and consumption. Then NARO would be would play a role of linking all the actors, but also in promoting and working with whichever companies or individuals are involved in production, and then linking to the supply chains and the consumption and markets.
Thank you. I don't see any more questions coming from the audience for the panel discussion. I would like to give the opportunity for our speakers for a closing remark. Each one can have 30 seconds, and you can go in the order that you start giving your talk. One last question for IITA before we go to closing remark. Question came for IITA: is the TSP material something ready in the market or for the market?
Yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for that question. It's not ready, but what we did is we tried to get those materials from University of Illinois through SIL, and then we try to test them whether they are going to be acceptable before we can roll out into the market. You know, I've mentioned before that consumer acceptability needs to be done, and then we need to do some in vitro and in vivo digestibility tests also as well. Thank you.
Thank you. And just a follow-up question on that, what would be needed in terms of infrastructure, private sector role in order to make this TSP really available in the market, in African market?
Yeah, thank you very much. The private sectors are ready, and actually IIT is one of the soybean producer in terms of breeding. We're producing different varieties. So we have a group of soybean farmers and group of private sectors. So the value chain, they are ready to pick the TSP. They are ready. So the market is there. What is key is the acceptance, if it is going to be acceptable. So once the IIT has established that it's going to be acceptable, it can be rolled into the market. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That highlights the importance of this research and similar work that's happening right now on soybean in Africa in order to make it available not only for feed, but also as a source for rich nutrient, especially protein and some micronutrients, especially when you fortify it for human consumption to help alleviate micronutrient, protein malnutrition, as well as micronutrient deficiencies when properly fortified. I would like to give the opportunity to our panel speakers for closing remarks. Each one have 30 seconds. Go. Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I would like to basically thank the conveners of this symposium for giving me an opportunity to participate in this symposium. I want to thank the session coordinators, session management, and Ame, and you've done a great job in coordinating us and testing and making sure that everything is okay. I also like to thank fellow presenters. I have learned a lot from you, and I'm looking forward to working with all of you on soybeans, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Kifas.
Thank you, Ahmed. I think it's a great team you guys organized. I think Phil has done well putting this webinar together. So in concluding, I will still say the Okara has huge potential in the African context. And we should consider how we can use it as an essential ingredient to improve our protein intake. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. You've done a good, excellent job. I want to thank the audience first, and then thank you for listening to us and to listen to this the story that we have to share with the audience. And also, I want to thank the organizers for the opportunity given to us to participate in this symposium, as well as also to share our knowledge and our research findings with the audience, and also to showcase what we can do to improve the level of the malnutrition in Africa. So what I want to just to conclude finally is the market is there for TSP to improve the protein malnutrition and protein energy malnutrition, especially in West Africa, in support with what Dr. Francis is doing. Yeah, so in Nigeria also we use okara, we make it to flour. With the flours is now being used as a condiment, you see, adding to the soup and the sauce, which is also another vehicle which you can promote also in Ghana. So thank you very much, everyone. So stay blessed.
So first, I would like to thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity, and moderator, like Hamad, you did a great job coordinating this whole thing, and my students, my collaborators, and the whole team that came together to work on the Soybean project. My closing remarks is, like, COVID has exposed the vulnerabilities of our food system, and if we have to, transform our food systems, it's high time we think about more circular systems and more sustainable systems toward a green future. And soybean can play a very important role in addressing malnutrition problems and hidden hunger challenges, and become an excellent vehicle to address the needs of the vulnerable people. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And again, thanks for the American Oil Chemical Society and for the Soybean Innovation Lab for organizing this event. And to learn more about the Soybean Innovation Lab, please visit their website, soybeaninnovationlab.org. And to learn more about Feed the Future initiative, please visit feedthefuture.gov. Thank you again, and we appreciate your contribution and attention to this session.